Both of you guys are scoring the ball at a good rate tonight. Can you talk about how each of you were in the 20s and kind of were at your best offensively tonight together?
Yeah, I felt like our offense wasn't really getting us open and stuff. So, we ran a lot of pace screens and stuff like that. So our teammates were able to get us open downhill, and we were able to finish at the rim.
Good one.
Justin, can you talk about the block shot you had there late in the game that kind of gave you guys some room there?
Yeah, I take pride on the defensive end. I feel like I'm one of the best defenders in this conference. So just setting an example, being a leader, guarding the ball really.
And Dai Dai, you guys are 7-1 now. Is it starting to feel like some good things can happen?
Yeah, for sure. We just got to stay locked in, keep getting better every day. And I think we could do real good this year.
How big was this win against a pretty good opponent?
Sort
of in the big scheme of things,
Yeah, this was a big win, actually. I was talking to Coach. We had a chance to get a Big 10 and a Big 12 win, and we did it, so.
Speaking of the record, you guys are undefeated at home. Does that feel good to know that you guys are protecting Haas?
100%. I feel like you can't lose at home, especially in the non-conference. We need all these games, so just taking pride. We can't lose at home, not in front of our fans.
So Utah was hanging around in the second half. The margin was only 2 well into the second half. What was said in the huddles with Coach to kind of get things back on track late in the game?
Really just the defense end, I feel like we still could have been way better defensively today. So if we would have picked up our defense today, we probably would have won by way more. But, mistakes happen. So
yeah, 100%. Just get stops on the defensive end. We were scoring a lot, so get a stop, finish the play with a rebound.
Matt Monroe, Sleepers Media. Relatively clean game for both teams, only 10 turnovers, but that starts with you guys obviously having the ball in your hands a lot. Was that a point of emphasis for you guys to protect the ball there?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like every game, if you can control the turnover margin, control the rebound margin, you have a really good chance of winning the game.
Any questions for the guys? All right, thanks.
Thank you.
appreciate y'all.
That's a really good Utah team. They're coming off a big win where they went to a neutral site and really played decisively against Ole Miss. Ole Miss has a lot of firepower. And so we knew this was going to be a dogfight, and it was. The score was probably closer than it looks from the box score, even closer than it looks. It was still 1-2 possession game. But you have to give a lot of credit to Utah, to Alex Jensen, to his players and his staff, because that's a tough team. They're going to beat a lot of people. I was proud of our guys. Lee Dort, double figures in rebounds. Led us in plus-minus, plus 18. DJ Campbell, some huge defensive stops late in the game. He's a big part of that. And then you look at Dai Dai and Justin. Those guys were phenomenal, making plays. When you look at the box score, neither guy missed a free throw, finishing at the rim. And so it's a good team effort. Open to questions.
Matt Monroe, Sleepers Media. It felt like Justin really dictated this game a lot on the offensive end with his pace, and then defensively with the pressure he was applying. Just wanted to hear a little bit more from you about his performance today.
Yeah, Justin Pippen is coming into his own. His game is unfolding naturally in front of, the university, the fans, his teammates, and he's a great team player. Justin Pippen is a tremendous team player. He leads us in block shots. He's one of our top guys in deflections, if not our leader. I'll have to look at the updated stats. And he as a point guard, he has a tremendous feel for when to attack and when to back the ball out and call a play and execute. He was outstanding.
Utah kind of got out to an 8-point lead in the first half and kind of had momentum early, and then you guys clawed back and kind of dictated the rest of the game up until the end. Can you talk about your team's resiliency, and is that something you love to see as a coach?
Yeah, I mean, Utah dominated us. Utah dominated us, especially to start the game. They came out with all the energy. They came out with all the hustle. They were making plays. They were running their sets with tremendous speed. Defensively, they were the ones making plays. And so we had to really up our energy, which our guys did. But no question, I'm telling you that Utah team is going to beat a lot of people this year, and they're not even fully healthy.
Good job.
Mark, is this the best team you've got left on your schedule in the non-conference, and How significant of a game was this for you guys?
You know, look, Utah's a great basketball team, and they're playing really well right now. But we got a lot of tough teams that are still left on our schedule. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here, but we have a lot of very tough, scrappy teams, and they all do something different. And so we have our work cut out for us every single game leading up to Christmas, and then after Christmas, league play starts, and that is the ACC is very strong this year.
Was this, though, a pretty encouraging win?
Well, it's encouraging because you know, we had a good win last week, and so if you have a lapse for a game like this, if you don't come out and play well, then that previous win against UCLA doesn't mean as much, because you have to be able to have the maturity and the poise to be able to handle success and to not get complacent. You know, we had a slow start, but our guys give our players a lot of credit. Dai Dai Ames, somebody who's the ultimate competitor. You know, I mean, Dai Dai just made play after play tonight as well. Knocking down free throws, controlling the ball. We only had 3 turnovers in the second half. He was a big part of that. And then, of course, Justin Pippen's block shot late in the game. Just the defensive side of the ball is getting better, and that we need to continue to work that.
Justin and Dai Dai were guys that you went after in the portal. Justin didn't really see a lot of minutes as a freshman. Dai Dai saw minutes in his previous stops, but he wasn't really a featured player. What was your sales pitch to them, and do you really feel like they're coming into their own now as they have the opportunity to really shine here?
Basketball is an interesting game. You know, sometimes all a player needs is a true opportunity. And, you know, both those guys had opportunities elsewhere, but I'll go one by one. With Dai Dai, he was absolutely we targeted him immediately when he went into the portal because we knew him from the ACC. We played against him. He played sparingly in that game, but late in the season, he came on, and nobody really had an answer for Dai Dai Ames in the ACC last year. And so we knew that, and he was a key target that we honed in on quickly. The sales pitch to Dai Dai was, come to Cal, NBA sets, NBA actions, NBA level coaching, but you're going to be able to be yourself and be you, and he's done that. Justin Pippen, look, we were close to signing Justin out of high school. So the minute he went in, we told him we would fly out to Michigan to see him. Now, it didn't work with his final schedule, but he was also a top target and priority for us.
So you guys were coming off a big win over UCLA, and you had a whole week, almost a whole week off. Sometimes that can be a good thing to get healthy, but sometimes it can get you rusty. How did you feel like you responded with the time off?
I thought we had some rust to start the game. I think at times we didn't move with the pop and the pace that we need to move with. But once we found our flow, I thought our guys did a lot better. But we debated it. You know, it's hard to have that many days of prep because then you start overthinking the game plan. You start going down rabbit holes of what the opponent might do. But give our staff a lot of credit. They stayed focused. You know, we stuck to blocking and tackling, and the guys did that tonight.
You got Dorsey back on the floor, but Reedus is out. Do you expect him back soon?
I would characterize Reedus as day-to-day, a true day-to-day situation. You know, he was a huge part of the UCLA game, the UCLA win. You know, I can't say enough about what Reedus Petratus means to our team. An emotional leader, a great player on the court. And we'll take this day by day with Reedus and really take the right steps.
Chris Bell tonight, was that something they did specifically or just one of those kind of nights?
No, I mean, Chris did a lot of great things out there. Chris Bell did a lot of great things out there. You know, we have a lot of ball movement, and I thought there were times when he looked for his shot and did a good job of attacking. You know, nobody on our team gets caught up in, you know, who's scoring the most points or who's doing what. This is a true team, and we have a lot of guys that can contribute. Chris is a huge part of this team.
Hey, Coach, you guys got an 8-game homestand coming up. So how important would you say this win was to get ready for that 8-game homestand with this squad coming up?
It's huge. It's huge. And we have to take this homestand very seriously. But we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We have an extremely talented Pacific team coming in here on Saturday. And we've watched a lot of film. You know, the scout coaches really dissected a lot of film and looked at what they do, and they do a great job defensively and offensively. And so we have our work cut out for us. You know, that's the first game up the homestand.
All right, thanks everyone.
Thanks, guys.